So Monday morning, quick update on what I'm up to. I've got my Copart window open, I've got my BCA window open, I've got my Mannheim window open, and I've got my salvage market window open. Sunday evening is looking at cars. Put a few cheeky bids in. Let's see what we've got here. I need to do any major work on. I really haven't got the time at the moment. So got a Ford Fiesta on a 2011 with 86,000 miles. Put a bid for £1,700 in on that. And they reckon retails 3195. It had a mechanical report and it's a grade 3, so shouldn't be it needs a lot of work. Next one, I put cheeky bid on an MG. I haven't had one of those yet. MG3 little cars. See them out and about, they look good, and you can get quite a new car for your money. I've got 2013 here with 54,000 miles on it, and I've put a bid of £1,800 on it. It reckons retails 3450. Been a bit cautious on that, obviously, because I don't know how well they go. That's a grade 2, so that should be a wash it and stick it out the door job. But then again, you know, could have something mechanical with it. We don't know. I don't have a mechanical report with that one looking at it. Got a little Volkswagen Polo here, a 1.2 match with 78,000 miles on it, 2009. That's a grade 3, so it should be a clean car. Put a bit of £1,300 on that. Retail is 2795. So again, probably a little bit low to be winning it, but all the bids I've put in today are all about a case of not wanting to do any work and make decent margin on them, because I don't desperately need the stock. Bid on a little Hyundai. If I see Hyundais, I bid on them because they just don't seem to be any trouble at all, touch wood. Hyundai i10 1 litre 2014. It's a grade 4, so it might need a bit of work, but the reason I don't mind that is because it's white, and white's super easy to match. It reckons the retail's 3750. I've bid 27. That's a bit strong. Not sure why I bid that high, actually, looking at that. No, sorry, retail 3750. Yeah. Yeah, I think I must have been half asleep on that, because retail is 37 and I bid 27, so I've got grand in it, so I'd be lucky to make 500 quid on that after it's come. So not quite sure why I bid that high on that one. Easily done when you're rushing through stuff, so we'll have to see what happens with that. Copart, bids wise, let's have a look at my bids. What have I bid on that? Oh, nothing. I didn't bid on anything on Copart last night for today's auction, so I can't find anything of interest there. Mannheim, I remember I couldn't find anything on Mannheim. Salvage market, I've just been back into. I put some bids on last night. I put a bid on a 2013 Alfa Romeo Giulietta that was a very light S. I went for this one because the damage was just on the front wing here, and when you looked at it from the back, it hadn't actually done much to the door or anything like that, so I imagine it's just hit that inner pillar there a little bit. But I didn't win that. My top bid was 1400. You don't get to see what it actually went for, but I didn't win it. I bid on a little 2011 Fiat 500 Lounge. Didn't win that one. But I bid on. Did I bid on a Suzuki Vitara? Why the hell would I bid on a Suzuki Vitara? I don't remember doing that. Hyundai i10. Didn't win that. Oh, these might be from previous periods. But I have won this Ford KA last night. So I've won a 2013 Ford KA 1.2. So it's the same as the Fiat 500 1.2 underneath. I won it for £760. It's a Cat N. It's only done 34,000 miles on it. So yeah, Cat N, 34,000 miles. Let's have a quick look at the pictures. So that's non-structural damage, so it looks okay from that side. I remember bidding on this because I had a close look at the edge of the bonnet, like in my previous video, to check that there wasn't any bonnet damage, which it looks like there isn't. Damage is on this side, so we look like we need a bumper, a wing. I can't remember if anything lives behind that, so I don't know if the washer bottle's there. I can't remember if the washer. I think it's the other side actually, the washer bottle. Can't quite remember. We're going to need the wing. We're going to need a bumper. We're going to need to tweak out the edge of the door there and paint that. So being a Ford KA, I'm going to try and track down a car in the same colour rather than paint the stuff, because that's just an added headache. I said I didn't really want anything with any work on, but I've gone and won this, haven't I? So what's it going to cost me? Let's have a quick look at what the fees are. The rest of the car looks clean. So that mileage is super low, and Ford KAs sell pretty quickly, especially. So I won it for 760. Let's have a quick look and see what the fees are on top of that. Sale PDF, let's go to that second. Oh. Let me just bring that up a second. A quick look at sale PDF. Right, so it's coming from Compelix down in Bodmin, old stomping ground of mine. I used to live down in Cornwall Way. With the winning bid was £760. The auction fees are £82. The admin fees are £55. So the total is £897 plus £27.40 VAT, giving a grand total of 924. It's going to cost me about 150 quid to get picked up, so I'm going to be in it. Let's just say I'm going to be in it around 1100 quid by the time it gets here. So £1,100 by the time it gets here. Parts wise, I imagine I will be into that. If I try and get colour coded stuff, it's always a bit more expensive, but it does speed things up. So the bumper's probably going to cost me, I would say probably 150 quid. Wings can cost me 50 quid. So 200 on that. Other odds and sods, maybe another 100 quid. Put it for an MOT. Let's say £500. So we're in it for about £1,600. I would have thought all done. £1,600, probably about a couple of days labour. I think I should be able to retail that for, I'd say, 2,795 with only 34,000 miles on a 2013. Because I imagine that mileage, that age, non-cat would probably be 3.5 plus. So 2,795 would be cheap, and we can probably make, after VAT and so forth, probably about 800 quid out of it. But anyway, I'll get onto my transporter, get this arranged to be picked up, and we will see what happens. And I'll let you know if I have any luck with any of my Mannheim bids today. Sorry, my BCA bids today. I've got a feeling I might win this one, where I bid 2.7 on that Hyundai i10. But it's good experience. Might be good for you guys to see. It's a 34,000 mile car. It's a 2014. So mechanically wise, it should be really sound. And it's a grade 4, so it's going to need some bits and bobs doing on it. But that's going to be a newer car with less to do. And let's see if I've got the kind of people that are going to buy that kind of car from me, because the asking price is going to have to be maybe even 3,995 for that. Definitely 3,795. But we'll see what happens when it turns up. If I win it, of course. And if someone outbids me on it, they're probably insane, to be fair, on that bid. So just quickly whipping out that set of injectors for that young lady on this KA. Fingers crossed. Shouldn't take too long. I should never say that, because you never know when something's going to throw itself up that you don't expect. But crack on, do that and get it back to her. This is Monday now. I think she brought it on a Friday, didn't she? So if I get it sorted now, I think she'll be happy I've got to turn around that quick. When it's in, we don't seem to have any leaks that I can see. We'll give it a start, see how it goes. Seems to be happy. Go for a little test drive, double check it, and take it from there. So it's Monday night, it's quite late. Well, not fairly late, it's coming up almost 9 o'clock. And I've done that repair for that lady on the young lady on the Mitsubishi's. That was where the crack was, wasn't it? So I've sorted that. Oh, just noticed I've got some run in my oh dear, I've got a little bit of run in my fade out thinners. That's a bummer. But too much, got too overexcited and too much fade out thinner on. Well, I'll have to wait till the morning now. I'll have to flat that bit and see where I'm to in the morning. That's what happens when you do stuff at night and you rush it a bit. I've done the two lower bits as well where the cracks were, so they're sorted. They don't seem to be running, so like I say, for the moment that will have to wait. See how bad it is in the morning, I think. As I say to you, when I paint stuff, normally if you run into a problem, don't run straight at it, because you will invariably end up making more of a hash of it. So let that go off and see how it looks in the morning. I have to spray that bit again. I have to spray that bit again, I guess, at the end of the day. Never a good deed, eh? So it's following morning on the Mitsubishi. The run isn't as bad as I thought it was. That'll flat out okay. So I got that crack down the side there. I got that little chip up there. Obviously all this needs flattening back now, and I got that crack down there sorted. So that is all ready to go. Just going to wait 24 hours before I start doing that. hopefully that should keep her happy. Took me about 2 hours last night to get that done. So I've got a customer who's got a little blue eye go, and they've had trouble with the lacquer peeling off the back of the bumper, and I said I'd help them out. They weren't pushing me to have to do it, but I had a little bit of time I could do it. So, but I did explain it wouldn't be a repair that would be invisible. So what I've done is sanded the edges of the flaking, blown as much of the lacquer off I can, sanded the edges down, got a rattle can of the right colour. Just going to go over the edges of that flaked lacquer, and then I will lacquer it and use fade out thinner to blend it all in a bit. So just going to put another little light dust on with the metallics. I always lightly dust it because you don't want to go darker than the manufacturer did. Just lightly dust it about. Like I say, I've explained to the person this is not going to be an invisible repair. This is just a little bit of a tidy up, just so they haven't got flaking lacquer coming off everywhere. That's why I've not gone mad masking. We'll see how it comes out. So as well as working on the little eye go outside, I've got this Corsa in. This is a warranty claim. It's in its last 5 days of its warranty, and it's making a strange noise. I can only say it's akin to someone with a kazoo in the engine bay, but it only happens randomly, very, very infrequently, for a couple of minutes and then stops. Doesn't happen for 99% of the driving, doesn't happen. I took it home last night to confirm, because when I first test drive it didn't make the noise at all, so I took it home, asked her if she was okay with me taking it home to test it out. I did get the noise a couple of times, so I'm going to get up in the air. My immediate thoughts are potentially a tensioner or possibly the water pump, but got to get it up in the air because these aren't, you can't do them from the engine bay. It's too tight in the engine bay to get to that belt. So I get it up in the air, get the wheel off, and then take the alternator belt off, and then start spinning up the tensioner and the water pump and seeing if I can hear it grindy at all. So quick update on the 106 Rallye. Last time I left it with you, I thought I'd cracked the head, didn't I? Tightened the bolt down. Now the good news is, the general consensus is I can't have done, and I'll explain to you why. Just take the cover loosely off. So the crack happened when we were putting the head back together again, and it happened when I was putting these rockers back in. And at the point the cracking noise happened, I was only actually nipping these bolts down. I hadn't actually started the process of torquing them. So the first torque setting was 25 Newton meters, and then it was 90 degrees, 90 degrees. I hadn't even done a 25 Newton meters yet on any of them. So I had Lee from Barham Engineering, my good friend across the road, came over. I asked his advice, and he says, you've been reading too much online, you've freaked yourself out. He said, if you haven't been torquing those bolts down, there's no way you could have put enough pressure on any liquid in the thread to crack the head. So he said, right, let's whip them out. So we whipped all the bolts back out again. And what we found was that there was a dowling on this end of the rockers. And I don't think, well, he thinks I didn't have it quite aligned. And the noise I heard was basically when the dowling, when I did start to sort of nip them down, was dowling then seating in place. So none of the bolts were broken. So the general consensus is that because I was at a point that I wasn't putting any force down on the bolts, it wouldn't have been enough to crack the head. So that's what the hope is now. So I have got it all back together again. The only thing left is to adjust the clearances, and after obviously it made me a little bit nervous with the problem I had. So what I've done is I've left that, and Lee's going to come over and set the valve clearances for me on the end. So all I've been doing is putting everything else back together again and cleaning it up a bit as I go along. And I'm hoping, at least by the, if not before the weekend, at least by the weekend, should be able to have a drive of this and be able to give you my first impressions on it, because obviously I've not been able to drive at any distance yet. Excuse the compressor, always kicks in at this point. Haven't been able to drive any distance in it yet, so really don't have any experience of what a 106 Rally's like. Now obviously this one did come to me with an MOT, but we know how ratty it is, so how good an MOT that was we don't know. I'll soon find out when we start driving it some distance whether the suspension's any good, gearbox is any good, those kind of things. Obviously the car's been sitting for a long time, so shakedown is going to probably bring out any problems it's got, But yeah, hopefully we'll get running, and obviously I'll soon find out whether I have cracked the head or not, because I would potentially be losing coolant either into the cylinders potentially, and making a mess that way, or out the actual block losing coolant. So that's where we are with the 106 Rallye. Just keep your fingers crossed for me, and hopefully I'll give you a video soon of us hooning around the countryside in it. So I had the Vauxhall Corsa up on the ramp. It has been picked up now. I've got the video in between. I checked the tensioner, I checked the water pump, I checked the alternator. None of the bearings were making any noises at all. So I have spoken to a few guys, and they say that the 1.2 Corsa's alternator has a one-way clutch on it that apparently can make noises intermittently, not necessarily all the time, because my thoughts were with an alternator bearing is it would be constantly making a noise because it's constantly turning. So if it's only periodically making a noise, it probably wasn't that. But no, apparently the one-way clutches on them can make a noise. So what I've done is I couldn't replicate the noise again, and it wasn't bad enough for me to warrant swapping the alternator out. So I have, and I'm going to have some people screaming and jumping on the comments straight away, the ones that say I'm far too soft. I've extended the warranty out because she was in the last few days of her 3-month warranty. I've extended the warranty out for another month, specifically on the alternator, the alternator belt tensioner, and the water pump. So if any of those three things, and they should get worse if there's a problem, they should get worse, I will cover those for her. I thought that was the fairest thing to do, because I'm not going to swap anything out now, because I've got no idea for sure that that is what the problem is. So again, yeah, go on and stick your comments down below. Let me know what you think about that, about my approach there. So tomorrow I've got plenty of work on. I've created for myself again, haven't I? Tomorrow I have to flat down the paint on the little IGO that I did, not sorted the lacquer peel out, did a tidy up. We're going to call it a tidy up of the lacquer peel on. And I've got to sort out and tidy up the paint. This was a one-stage white on this, so it had lacquer and colour all in one. Got to tidy this up, buff that up for her. And then I should have, because the KA is gone now, so those warranty things will be sorted, bar the Bravo, which I'm still waiting on the 2 plastic pegs for. Now, still got the RS here, untouched. My mate Scotty came along today and he said, I think you're procrastinating a little bit on that Yaris. So Monday evening, so next Monday, I'm going to come in with you and we are going to get it put away and done. So yeah, I'm going to get someone's putting their boot on my backside to get that finished off now. Got a little bit quiet on the car sales. The Honda obviously went and the Dacia went. Was there a third car that went? Can't remember. But they've already gone. But no inquiries on anything since then. But then again, I guess I've only really got sort of 5 cars up for sale at the moment. So I need to do a bit of shopping on that front. And the little KA, the little red KA is due in tomorrow. The one I bought crash damage, so I'll do a quick little video for you, which will probably be within this video potentially, of that KA, and we'll have a walk around it and see how much trouble I've bought myself there. So Lee from Barham Engines, if you haven't seen his channel yet, I'll put a link down below. He's been over, a solid guy again, and set up the valve clearances on the 106 Rallye for me. So I've just got to nip down this rocker cover now. I've put fresh coolant in, oil filter. I've put in this K&N setup for the air filter at the moment, because I do want a genuine one, but they're hen's teeth and it didn't come with the car, so I'll just take a K&N on there for the moment. And yeah, so next bit of the video, hopefully for you guys, is going to be me starting this up and going for a little test drive. So the KA is in from salvage market, and not as good as I thought it was. So all the advice I give you guys, I probably didn't take much of it myself. Didn't look closely at the pictures enough on it. It's a 2013. It's a category N. It looked to me like I just needed to change the bumper out and I'd be done. But it's turned up. The bonnet is a completely different colour, full of peeling lacquer and stone chips. The bumper is a different colour, although I wasn't going to use that, so I guess there's no point talking about that. This side of the car is sort of a reddy orange. This is all good. This is all good. This is all good, but if I get down this side, which is a bit tight, it starts to change. So I've got this sort of faded red here. I've got this faded red on this wing,
going into this orangey red again, like the rest of the car. This door seems to be blended about halfway really badly, but the front edge is full of filler. So it's obviously had work on it before. I missed that it wasn't running and driving. Its trap rod end is out, so we had to push it to this corner, hence me not doing you a better video from outside. The wing damage is pretty much what I thought it was. It looks like the rad surround is okay. So it is just panels and it's just a trap rod end, so it's not the end of the world, but it means we've got to paint the bonnet and we've got to obviously paint a new wing if we get it, and we're going to have to paint the door. So there's a lot more body work than I want, and there's hours of work there, and I just really haven't got the time for it at the moment. So what to do? Ask you guys again, comment below. I've got two ideas. One, I park it up here and get round to it when I get round to it, but I've already got the Yaris to do, haven't I? And I don't have the space to have cars that aren't earning me money and are waiting for repair. Option number two is I sell it on spares or repair and just get out of it. I think all in with delivery it owes me about £110, but if I just 995 it, take a little bit of a hit on it and move it on to someone else who has got the time and space to do it. It's a simple one to do. You know, like I say, it's all bolt-on stuff. You could try and get a bonnet in the right colour, a bumper in the right colour and a wing in the right colour, but then you're still going to have to paint the door. So it would need to be someone who's going to put it out for paint. It's, like I say, 2013, it's got low mileage, it's only like 35,000 miles. It's even as a cat car, I think it's easily a £3 car. If it was a non-cat car, it'd be like 3,795. So there's enough in it for someone to do it, make some money out of it. But I just haven't got the time to be doing it right now. It's just taking up another parking space, and yeah, another parking space, and I really haven't got time to be getting on. This is a prime case of the pictures of this car were in a nicely lit room, and I didn't zoom in and look carefully enough at things like these bonnets. This all looked like the same red in the pictures. Didn't zoom in closely enough to check it out. I didn't read that it was a non-driver due to the trap rod end, which again, it's not the end of the world. It's a cheap part, it's easy to fit. Interior wise, it seems okay. It seems to be right with the clean-up. It's got the standard studio interior on it. Yeah, 34,000 miles, 647. It's got lecky windows. A lot of these have wind-up windows, so that's not bad. So interior is going to clean up fine on it. It's just the bodywork, and being a 2013 mechanically with that mileage, mechanically wise, I imagine it's going to be fine. So yeah, comment below. Am I being lazy or sensible trying to move it on as it is with the time constraints I have on me at the moment? Be interested to hear your feedback. So following when I've buffed out the paint on the Yaris here, sorry, Yaris, the Igo. I'll show you where the blend is, just here where the old lacquer was, where the peeling lacquer was and the new paint and new lacquer is. So to be fair, for what was a freebie just to tidy it up, I'm happy with that, and I think the customer should be happy, but I'll let you know when they pick it up. So I jumped the gun a bit because I had to move the car out to let a customer out, but she's running. So what we're going to do now is we're going to go for a drive. We'll put some fresh fuel in. We're going to go for a drive and see how we get on. I've asked if we just get their phone to hand. My colleagues have been super encouraging. They've given me a fire extinguisher, but it's probably actually not a bad idea. We're away. We've got a strange noise from the speedo not working properly. Excuse me if the camera falls over because I haven't got it attached to anything. We've got, yeah, strange noise from the speedo just flickering away, so I need to work out what that is. Yeah, I haven't driven something this old for a long while, so every noise is bothering me. So up into 5th gear. I'm probably babying it a bit too much at the moment. It probably needs way more revs than I'm giving it to really progress. Water temperature staying alright at the moment. It's pulling slightly to the right, so it needs its tracking doing. Don't really know what speed we're doing because of the speedo. I think we're doing 60. Initial signs are it doesn't feel anywhere near as quick as the Cappuccino with its 660 turbo, but then, like I say, it's early days, I'm probably babying it a bit. mean, we're in 5th, and we're at 3,500 revs, so I imagine we're doing 60-ish. I mean, I've never driven a 106 Rallye before, so I have absolutely no idea what to compare it to. I had a 205 Rallye for a bit, the UK one, which was just the basically a 1360 with stickers on, wasn't it? But obviously I'm not going to go crazy at the moment. I want to get it up to temp and see how it behaves. But yeah, speedo's definitely one thing you've got to sort straight away. Ride-wise, the suspension seems acceptable. It's not crashing and banging or knocking. So, and it has got new tyres all round on it as well. So yeah, initial signs are it looks okay, but I'll pause you guys for a bit, get it up to temperature and give it a bit more beans, and we'll see what it has to say for itself. Yeah, this is what the speedo's doing. So if any of you got any top tips for what that might be, I imagine it's slightly loose or disconnected from the back. But yeah, any tips from any of you guys who know, comment down below as always. Right, so I went round and roundabout quickly and I lost my fuel gauge completely. It went down to empty. So not sure what that is. I'll have to look into that. Right, let's give it a few more revs. Third gear, coming from 4,000. Yeah, that's where the power is. It's up there, isn't it? I was babying it along below 4,000 revs. Absolutely nothing there at all, really. But it seems to come on cam near 4,000. So when I get a bit of clear road, I will give a pull that a go. I will say, going round and roundabout just then, when the fuel gauge went out, oh my god, yes, fantastic turn in, loads of grip. Far more flingable than the Cappuccino. Obviously that was one roundabout, so I've got to experience a bit more. I plan on taking it home tonight. But oh yeah, sorry, I've lost it completely, haven't I? Yeah, so we'll get a few more roundabouts and give you a better feel, and country lanes and give you a better feel. So let's drop it down to third, second, 4,000 revs, pull. Certainly not what I call a quick car. Obviously I've had a lot of quick cars. I don't think it's going to be a car that feels fast pulling away or anything like that, because it's only like a 9-second car anyway, isn't it? 9.5 seconds. I think it's all going to be about stringing corners together and having fun that way. So we got back in one piece. We're just going to let her cool down and then check what the coolant level is. It might need a bit of a top up because it'll have bled itself a bit since I refreshed it with the fresh coolant. We'll check the oil levels again. But yeah, I mean, she seemed to drive okay, and she's certainly got no smoke out the back anymore. So our head gasket problem, touch wood, seems to have been solved. But we'll see how much coolant's been used up.